And the Finance Minister is speaking live right now in Delhi at the National Media Centre. Let's go straight across.
To answer your questions, I'd request you to check that your cell phones are switched off or are in the silent mode before we begin. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I'm sure all of you have had an opportunity to read the budget speech as well as the supporting documents. And I assume you've had an opportunity to look at the numbers. So I shan't make any long opening statement so that we can leave enough time for questions. Because it is an interim budget, it is limited by time and space. There are also limitations of conventions. Keeping all that in mind, the speech focuses on a few important things which needed to be said, and I've tried my best to say that in a manner that average people reading the speech will understand what we are trying to do and what we have done over the last 2 years. We have put the economy on a more stable foundation. As I said in paragraph 15, the fiscal deficit is declining, the current account deficit has been contained, inflation has moderated, the quarterly growth rate is on the rise, the exchange rate is stable, exports have increased, and hundreds of projects have been cleared. That clearly indicates that the economy is more stable and will be able to withstand any shocks if there are any. The second point that I wish to make was, look at what we have done over the last 21 months in 2012-13 and the 9 months of 2013-14. These are listed from paragraphs 22 onwards, and I'm sure you have looked at them. The third thing I wanted to say was, look at the record of the UPA government over the last 10 years. It is but natural for a finance minister presenting the last budget of the term of this government to look back over 5 years or 10 years. Since the UPA has been in office for 10 years, I naturally look back at 10 years and pick some examples to show that notwithstanding what some people may say, the country has made significant progress. I've also pointed out that in the 10-year period, even if you break it down into 2 5-year periods, the trend growth rate in this 5-year and 5 years is higher than the trend growth rate of 33 years. In fact, that is the most significant statement in the budget speech. The trend growth rate over 33 years is 6.2%. Between 1999 and 2004, the government delivered 5.9%. Between 2004 and 2009, government delivered 8.4%. And despite our difficulties since 2009, in the period 2009 to 2014, we are delivering 6.6%. I think people can draw their own conclusions of how growth has been pushed. The next point I wish to make was that we are providing enough for our government's initiatives in the social sector. Every flagship program has been given adequate funds. None of the key ministries has been given money less than what was given in 2013-14. It's either equal to or more than what was given in 2013-14. We've also outlined what any government should do. There is a whole lot of reforms that require to be done in the financial sector. And then there are a number of steps that have to be taken to take the economy forward. These have been noted from paragraph 58 onwards, and more particularly from paragraph 70 onwards. I think the 10 tasks that I have outlined are the tasks which no government can ignore. No government ought to ignore. There has to be bipartisan, multi-partisan support for these 10 tasks. It is these 10 tasks, if performed well, that will take India's economy to a higher rank. And I'm aiming at taking India's economy to the 3rd rank only after the US and China. That's doable. Any responsible, determined, progressive, proactive government can deliver on that goal. And finally, on the revenue side, as I said, we are bound by the limitations of convention, so we have not changed any direct tax rates. That's for the next government to do. But some things cannot brook any delay.